I know the air I'm breathing, it's no good for my lungs. I do this every season, I hate when summer comes. I fall into a trap that I made by myself. Oh, and I always do the wrong thing. I'm unstable and I'm unsteady, I've lost a million times already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down. I feel unable and so unworthy, my heart feels heavy, I've lost already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. I'm always self-destructive, I take a hit, I love it. Can you give me a second? I'm slow, got blurry vision. I fall into a trap that I made by myself. Oh, and I always do the wrong thing. I'm unstable and I'm unsteady, I've lost a million times already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down. I feel unable and so unworthy, my heart feels heavy, I've lost already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. Please help me see the things that I am, I don't understand. I'm doing the best that I can right now, but it's never enough. I'm not even ready to slow down. Just slow down. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now.
What do you expect me to say? You know that I will always find a way to fuck up everything that we ever made. Some people change and some people don't. Don't give it another shot, we've had enough, I think it's time to stop. I fucked up everything we ever made. Some people change, but you know I won't. Maria, I wanna make everything okay. Don't trust me, forgive me, you have to find a way. Maria, I wanna make everything okay. Don't trust me, believe me, you have to run away. What you expect me to do? Push you away when we're both feeling blue. No lies can help with what you're going through. Some things can change, but you know it won't. Why do we wait for the worst? Everyone knows that the ending is cursed. This ship is sinking, so just say the words. Some people change, but you know I won't. Maria, I wanna make everything okay. Don't trust me, forgive me, you have to find a way. Maria, I wanna make everything okay. Don't trust me, believe me, you have to run away. It's never better when mistakes are made again. You know we're not the same. Hurting will break the chains. It's never better when mistakes are made again. There's poisons in my veins. Liars are all the same. It's never better when mistakes are made again. You know we're not the same. Hurting will break the chains. It's never better when Mistakes I made again. This poison's in my veins. Liars are all the same.
Every little thing you do, it gets me thinking. By another shot, you got me drinking. Girl, you shut me down and there's no witness. Got me in my feels, she would never listen. All the alcohol is in my liver. I guess I lost and you're the winner. Missing your touch, you were a good kisser. I was born a saint, but now I'm a sinner. Falling for you. For you, for you. 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 All the times with you, they just fly by. All the memories pop up on my timeline. Change your colors on me like you're tie-dye. Got me falling for you while you take a skydive. See you in another dimension. Can't sleep on my night's rest. Baby girl, you were my best friend. Best friend. Every little thing you do, it gets me thinking. By another shot, you got me drinking. Girl, you shut me down and there's no witness. Got me in my feels, she would never listen. All the alcohol is in my liver. I guess I lost and you're the winner. Missing your touch, you were a good kisser. I was born to sing, but now I'm a sinner. Falling for you. For you, for you. Falling for you. For you, for you. Falling for you. For you, for you. Falling for you. For you,
I love seafood and long walks on the beach. A bucket of sand is never out of reach. One day I was walking down the shoreline when I saw a little crab right behind. The little crab was following me around. The little crab was copying my sound. Little crab didn't have an invitation. Little crab ain't real, he's imitation. Imitation crab, I didn't order you. Is there something wrong with your purview?
It don't matter where we go. It don't matter if we lose it all. 'Cause when I'm with you, yeah, I know everything will be alright. It don't matter if we
Hello?
fall down into the
Oh, hello.
darkest place we know.
I can hear you. Are we going to disprove dragons? What does that even mean?
Oh, also, I didn't unmute on stream. I was saying hello and we're gonna disprove dragons. What does it mean? Well, first, how are
Yeah.
you doing, Sam?
I don't know. How are you doing?
Terrible.
Why are you doing terrible?
I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, I canceled stream yesterday and the day before. I was in bed for basically the last 2 days. Depression
Are you
stuff.
physically or mentally?
Mentally.
Mentally. Gotcha. Well, I'm glad you're here tonight then.
Yeah. Harmony Bot said something about the Scopes monkey trials. You know what that is? Because I don't.
I do, yeah. The Scopes monkey trial was a Supreme Court case about teaching evolution in school
Okay.
and whether or not it was allowed or not. The defendant was in some, his name was John Scopes, and he was in some red state, Tennessee maybe, and he was teaching evolution, which was against Tennessee law. Tennessee? I think Tennessee. Kentucky? Tennessee? I don't know. One of those states. And it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and I believe it was like a huge sensation. It was publicized like in newspapers or something like that.
Okay.
And led to protests and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Harmony said, Harmony ended it with, just like those monkeys, we'll uncover some wild truths. So let's dive in and have a roar sometime. I don't know. Harmony Bot's been
That's rough.
kind of iffy on these tying together the current game with an event in history on the current day.
Oh.
When she said just like those monkeys, I thought, okay, so it's a trial that involves monkeys. It doesn't really involve monkeys. It's because I mean, I guess there's some sort of cognitive attraction to focusing on the monkey to human, or I guess a primate to human evolution. But it's not really about
People
monkeys.
think that you mean like your grandfather was a monkey. Yeah.
Yeah. Like evolution is all life, right? It's not specific to monkeys.
Right. And it doesn't mean that
It's like saying mathematics is about the number 5, right? It's about a lot of things. Anyway.
And
yeah,
it's not like humans evolved from monkeys. Humans and monkeys share a common ancestor.
Yeah.
Right? Like we didn't evolve from gorillas or something like that.
Right.
Right.
Are you able to see my screen?
Am I able to see your screen? Let me open the Discordy thing. It's blue. Oh, there it is. There's no dragons.
Yeah. The store description for this game is a little vague. I'll show it to you. Dragons are an absolute myth. Nobody has ever seen any. That's the description of the game.
All right.
So let's see. Let's slow the game and not expect to see any dragons, I guess.
They're an absolute myth. No one has ever seen any of them. Have you seen the what ChatGPT does when you ask it to show you a room with no elephants in it?
It shows lots of elephants.
No, it doesn't actually.
Oh, really? They fixed that?
If you ask Copilot to show you a room with no elephants in it and be sure to annotate the room to show that there's no elephants in it, it makes a picture of a room with wallpaper that has on it animals that it labels like no elephant, like a dog, like it says no elephant. It also has pictures of animals crossed out, like elephants crossed out, and it says no elephants. And of course, it does that with like lots of misspellings and stuff. So there'll be like a wiener dog, and it'll say like no elefantes, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest picture in the poster, by a factor of like 8,000, is just a huge elephant.
Yeah.
It doesn't say it, right? Okay. If you ask ChatGPT to show you a room with no elephants in it, and to make sure to annotate it to explain why there's no elephants,
Yeah.
it produces a picture of a room with no elephants in it, and it's like a living room, and
Yeah.
it annotates it by saying, there's no elephants because the doorway is too narrow and the ceiling is too low.
Okay. I didn't see
Like
that.
the room's not wide enough.
I'm pretty sure I saw either the article you were talking about or a similar article.
Yeah.
But I don't remember
Probably.
this specific thing about the doors too narrow, whatever.
Oh my god, I used it in a presentation recently, which is why I know it so well.
Okay.
Because something about that just tickles my funny bone.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, of course there's no elephants.
What this
The
makes
doorway's too narrow.
well, it's like the 5-year-old kid joke, right? Like how why how
Yeah.
many elephants can you hide in a fridge or something like that, and then
Right.
and it's like, well, have you ever seen one? And that's how good they are at hiding
Right.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing your anecdote made me think of is like there was this discussion about how much LLMs can tell us about the human mind and the human psychology.
Yeah.
And it can tell you some, but it's not the human brain, right? So it's going to be
Right.
But I mean, there are some things you can some things do generalize and some things don't, right? And it's hard to know
Right.
a priori which is which.
Right. Like obviously the prediction aspect of it, like human brains are doing some stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we also aren't thinking in tokens. So we
Yeah.
can tell you how many eggs are in mayonnaise.
Yeah.
I
I
used
mean,
several things that you've shared with me in that presentation. Just
Okay.
FYI.
thank you for letting me know, I guess.
Feel good about that.
Because I mean, like, I think it's very tempting from the the picture thing is to analogize it to the pink elephant thing, right? Don't think of pink elephants, and then you can't help but think about
Right.
pink elephants, right? But that's not what's going
Right.
on in this case, right? Like,
Right.
what's going on is that in the old ChatGPT, which is what Copilot is based on ChatGPT, but an old version.
Right.
The image generating model and the tech token prediction models are completely two distinct things, complete separate products.
Right.
So you ask in your text center, you're saying, hey, draw me a picture of a room with no elephants. All of what the LM says is it's going to interpret this as, oh, okay, so the user wants me to create a picture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give some text to the image drawing model, and then it's going to give me an image, and then I just give the image to the user. And the image drawing model, it sees the word elephant in the string, right, given by the LM, and says, okay, so I'm going to draw some elephants. And that's why you
I'll also
get
include the
elephants.
word no a lot because
Yeah.
it's in there too. But yeah.
Whereas the latest model of ChatGPT is like it's called multi-channel. I forget what's it called. They have a term for it, but I forget what it's called. Multimodal, I think. Yeah, multimodal is what they call it. So it's one model that understands text and images, as opposed to two separate models. That one that only understands text, one that understands
Right.
image.
So it
that's
was able
why-
to understand no elephants.
Yeah,
but
now it knows
couldn't
what you're talking
quite-
about, and then
Right.
or rather, it's that the image generating
Predicting
part
what you're talking
is now able to understand what you're talking about.
Right. But it still gives hilarious reasons.
Yeah. So I'm guessing.
I see some dragon.
Yeah, maybe. I guess we're supposed to. This is similar to another game we play, right? Where we have to find specifically this thing, right? Not just any dragon. You know, we played like a Santa Claus game or something like that. That was similar to
Oh,
this.
yeah.
With
Okay.
elves,
Fair,
like
we had
find
to
these
find the
elves and the
exact-
gingerbread man and all that. So we're looking for like a guy in an eggshell, I guess. I see, yeah, a bunch of guys, but I'm not seeing the eggshell guy. I guess he also has a horn on his head. Maybe we can use that because, like, most of their bottoms are like out of frame, so I can't tell. Like, is this guy? Maybe. Nope. I tried clicking him. That didn't work.
gonna full
This
screen
guy?
it so I can see a little
Oh,
better.
there's that guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you definitely can't see the eggshell for that guy, so you have to look at like their facial structure and things like that. Oh, I feel like I just saw this guy.
He's up just a little bit from where you are.
I wasn't for the guy like 2 or 3 dragons ago. I wasn't sure if I should comment on the racism implications. It was like yeah, this guy. He has squinty eyes and he's drawn in yellow.
All right.
So I was like, but whatever. Just a coincidence, perhaps.
I don't see it that way, so I'm clearly not racist,
Yeah.
whereas you clearly are. That's how it works, right?
I guess that's how it works.
Ooh, that one's very slithery.
There's like a cat here.
Cats don't exist.
Is it this guy? It is.
Haven't we seen this guy already like a lot?
Yeah. I mean, just like the Santa Claus one, they reuse like there's like 4 gingerbread mans, in the scene,
Alright.
and there's like 3 candy canes or whatever.
Alright.
It's
Is it
like
by
they-
the same people?
Maybe. I think they only have like 5 dragon pictures. They just keep reusing them.
Alright.
It's a sudden music change, like in mood.
Yeah. Now it's like La La Land.
I haven't seen that one.
God, it's the worst.
You didn't like it? I thought, didn't they win like awards or something?
Yes. Yeah, it was universally beloved.
Well, it sounds like universally -1 beloved.
Yeah. It was very pretty white people with problems. I was bored and annoyed at these people and their
You
big
couldn't relate
problems.
because you don't have any problems,
I could not.
or you're not
Yeah.
white. One of the two.
Or not pretty.
I feel like there's only 2 dragons left. There's this guy,
Right.
and then there was somewhere else. I forgot where it was now. But like, I don't know, where's this guy? It says there's 5 dragons left. Actually, gosh darn.
See a cat.
Yeah. Oh, here's the other guy. Yeah, I think these are the only 2 I see. There's this grumpy guy and there's this goofy guy.
I see a couple of like tails. Are we supposed to just look for tails?
Well, I mean, if you see this tail, then yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't find it. So we'll do zoom in and then we'll go slower.
All right.
There's only 2 dragons on the whole picture. What the heck? What do we do now?
Okay, so if you go down near the car
Okay.
and go, let's see if I can find it again. Where was I looking? Oh, maybe we have. Do you think we have to open in something?
No.
Can't remember if we had to do that before. Okay. Maybe move over to the left a little bit. Oh, there. Okay. So, you see your cursor move up and to the left. Like do a 45. Yeah. Do you see that little curly tail?
Yeah.
Is that something?
I don't know. It's not this guy.
Okay. All right.
Is this hints? If I click on this, will it give us a hint?
Maybe.
The milk bottle? It's pointing right at the milk bottle.
Right.
The milk bottle is a dragon. Okay. Okay, sure. I guess that's how it works. Milk bottles can be dragons
How do you think
sometimes.
how it works?
I guess look for milk bottles or something. I think the mechanic you're talking about is right. You have to open things or something like that, or like. But I don't know how we're supposed to know what is open. Oh, look, I can. It turns to a magnifying glass if I hover over this paper, this
Okay.
pamphlet. Oh, but there's nothing there.
Which means
So it's like some of them are decoys, I guess. But it means I have to hover over everything basically, because you never know what's gonna become a magnifying glass. Yeah, I don't like that.
no. That's
just
too
gonna use-
hidden. That's like real life.
I'm just use a hint because I don't care about finding all the magnifying glasses. This rock. Is that only
I'm
on
not
hard
convinced.
that happens? Maybe if I go on normal, it won't. It won't be like
Yeah,
guys you have to click on.
that's a good idea.
Oh, but then we have to redo the level. What is this?
Oh, now we just look for any dragon?
I guess. Okay, so it's saying 1 out of... Oh, is this saying there's this many hidden ones? So there's still this
I
hidden
don't
concept.
know. How is this normal?
Well, you can find them in any order now, right? Suppose, before you had to find them, the specific one I was telling you about. You know, like when we play traditional hidden object games and we force ourselves to find them in order.
Yeah,
that's what
I
the hard
guess
one
that
is, basically.
Okay. Wait, go up to the left. See those little lit, yeah. Did you check the milk bottle?
Where's the milk bottle?
Up.
And then...
It's not a milk bottle anymore. It's like actually a dragon. Do you see
I
up
don't
by
see
the
it. Oh,
go straight up?
I don't think that's where the milk bottle was. Like, I don't remember being
It
on
was
a
around
wire.
there. It was on a cloud on the wire, wasn't it?
No, that was like around here.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the hash thing means you found all of them. So there's like 0 of whatever this is. And then there's at least 2 of these. We don't know how many. And then there's like another one that we haven't found yet.
How is that informative?
Hi Tess, welcome in. I don't know where the last 2 are. They might be hidden. No, one of them should be out in the open. I think all these guys were out in the open, unless I misunderstood the mechanic. Actually, no, I probably did misunderstand the mechanic, because I feel like when they were hidden, you click on them, it didn't go to like a hidden category, it went to one of the existing categories.
Right.
So this guy could be hidden. The 2 remaining ones could be hidden.
I feel like your thing is going to magnifying glass sometimes, but just really fast, so I can't tell. Does it give you like haptic feedback or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
So it might be exactly like you say. I might be just scrolling past it and not realizing it. There's no standard for that, as far as I'm aware, in computers, for a mouse to vibrate.
Hmm.
And so you have a chicken egg problem, because there's no standard for it. No hardware manufacturer wants to make a mouse with a vibrating motor thingy. And because there's no vibrating motor, then no software, no operating system is gonna add a signal that says when we send the signal, that means you should vibrate the mouse.
Right.
Oh, this, what's it called? Bumper sticker? Not a bumper sticker. Rear view mirror. Tag.
Hang thingy.
I've been going through our old videos of you and I, Steph, of when we played the game, the quantum game, and you said that ChatGPT has a long window, and it takes like the people who use ChatGPT as their boyfriends, it takes them a week of constant talking before it runs out and it reset. That hasn't been my experience, and I didn't say anything at the time. I guess I don't know, but I remember now. I feel like if you're treating ChatGPT like your boyfriend, then you probably like write maybe 2 or 3 lines, and then it replies 2 or 3 lines, right? Something like that.
Okay.
Like, hey babe, how you doing, or something like that, right? Like that's your message, and it might be like, I'm good, how you doing, or something like that. I don't know. But like the way I use it, I usually write like maybe 5 sentences, and then it replies with like 12 paragraphs.
Okay.
And so I ran out of tokens like
I saw it change.
I ran out of tokens in like around here.
There. I feel like normal is harder than.
I just want no hidden shit. Because I'm asking it to explain some deep topic to me, right? Where like quantum field theory is the the example I go to a lot, but other topics too.
And you feel like it forgets?
Yeah, because it only has, like you said, it has you said 20,000 or 200,000 tokens or something like that, right? But like,
Yeah.
so like one long Wikipedia article is that, I think. And I guess it generates maybe half.
It depends on if you have the free version or the slightly paid version or the super paid
I have
version.
a slightly paid version.
I do too. I feel like it remembers me pretty well, but
Well, it won't remember anything that's in a different conversation, right? Like here, let me show
mine
you.
does.
I think I can. I don't have anything too secret in my ChatGPT. I don't know if I'm logged in on this computer though.
Do you keep your stuff in projects?
No.
Hmm. Like mine was able to, like I can just open a chat and ask it, based on all of our previous interactions, what do you think my Myers-Briggs is? And it had a great guess.
Yeah, because it knows some things about you, but it doesn't keep all your things.
Well, how does it decide what to keep and what not to?
I don't know. It just makes a choice. I can show you this in a moment.
Okay.
I'm just skimming through this to check if there's if I have any like private stuff I don't want to share. But I think
Right.
this is okay. Cultural drift conflict. Twitch stream promo help. So you see, like I create depression bed and report info. I create like a new for different topics, right? Because if I pick one, like it's just, this is how long its response is to one of my questions or
Okay,
one of
but
my
start a new prompt and ask it if it can guess based on everything it knows about you what your Myers-Briggs is.
Well, okay, before I do that, or instead of doing that, let me show you this other thing where I say, where is it? Because it has a memory where, like, it has a notepad basically where it records some stuff. This one?
Oh, okay. Oh, that, where you customize it?
No, this is not it. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm trying to find it.
Oh.
But that is, like, you can explicitly tell it that stuff.
Great.
Yeah, I can just ask it. Yeah, I think this is wrong. It says you can't directly view it. I'm pretty sure there was a UI where you can directly view it.
Mm.
Here, updated save memory. Oh, here, manage. Yeah, so then this is what it remembers about me.
Okay.
Lives in Seattle. There's my rent. I don't know if I want to show all this. But anyway, like I wrote something and it's like, it makes a decision. It says like updated memory and it added this working on a hard sci-fi story that involves blah, 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 blah.
Gotcha.
Because I said, here I said, you're a hard sci-fi author like Greg Egan. I have a sketch of an idea for a story. I want you to help me flesh it out. And then here's my story idea. And it's helping me come up with like, and then it decides to record for itself. It says the user is working on a hard sci-fi story. And here's a gist of it. So when you do a new chat, or even this chat, like if I just go to the bottom here and I type something here, it sees everything in this window, plus everything in that memory, right, that we saw.
Right. Okay.
Here, like this, if I click match here, but it doesn't see anything in this window, for example. So this is my Twitch chat stream schedule. So it wouldn't know. Like if I ask it, what was I streaming on Sunday? The answer is Pong 2, according to this. If I asked it here, it would not know. Unless it added to the memory, but I don't think it added that to the memory.
Interesting. Can it guess your Myers-Briggs though?
I mean, it can probably do some P.T. Barnum tricks, right? Like it probably remembers I'm a software engineer, right? So I'm probably INTJ then, you know, or whatever the stereotypical software engineer personality type is. Like, you want me to phrase a specific
Ask
way,
it,
or is this fine?
ask it to guess based on what it knows about you.
Like this? Is this okay?
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Because you're
Yeah,
not.
INTJ. There we go.
It's fascinating.
When you
You
say I'm
don't
not,
enjoy structured approaches, and you don't focus on planning, refining, and ensuring that everything's in order.
I do though sometimes.
Sometimes, but mostly you're
Like
an
stream
INTP.
scheduling it understands that. I don't know. I feel like the like whether or not I like the plan is too reductionist.
I don't like that as a great judging versus planning sort of thing, but
Yeah, I don't know about in Myers-Briggs specifically this judging versus planning, but I'm saying like on a let's say a survey question, it says, "Do you like to plan? Or are
right.
you the type of person who plans?" I think that question, at least for me, is too reductionistic because there are
I think
situations.
that's how you know you're not a J.
Okay, because like there are situations where I plan way more than the typical person, and they will
Right.
comment on how weird I am for planning so much. And there are other situations where whatever happens, I'm fine. Like, let's just go, you know, we'll improvise.
Right.
And they also, and people will also find that weird, you know, like, to the degree to which I'm okay with whatever.
Right.
And I don't know that
But I think a
there's
better J versus P distinction is like, are you okay with something usable, even if it sort of lacks some nuance? And your answer is no, absolutely not.
I was gonna, yeah, I guess.
Or, no.
No, I'm not.
I think you would rather leave it open and aware of the nuance and think about it more.
Well, I agree with you that I don't like to, like, if something is nuanced, I don't like to say, let's just pretend there is no nuance and then and just pick one, you know, or something like that. Which I don't know if that's what you were getting at. But like, to me, like, when you say like, are you okay with something that has nuance, that's not what I think that means. Is this a guy? No, it's like an owl or something. Better not be hidden. I don't think there were any hidden ones on the previous map we did. But now I don't know where this last guy is. This? Oh, this is that guy.
There's another guy behind the plant on that table. Congratulations, you found all the dragons.
There aren't any dragons. It's a myth.
You got the found many accomplishment achievement.
Test redeem hydrate, so let's hydrate. Thank you, Tess. And that's, we found all of them, I guess. Unless there's, can we scroll? Oh, there is more. John says, where the dragons? There are no dragons.
Good point.
We're trying to find them, basically.
But there aren't any, so it's complicated. Because they don't exist.
He says, hello, Steph.
There's one there, yeah. Hello, Funkytron.
Funkytron, do you have that thing, the report or whatever about the... You said it was the history of video games, I think is what you said? Maybe the video game crash?
Is that Windsock? Oh no, we're looking for this guy, never mind. I was trying to make it too hard. The guy had a dragon in his pocket.
Maybe he's just happy to see you.
Happy to see you doesn't exist.
What is this?
Oh,
This
wait.
definitely looks like a dragon shape. But if it's not, then I have no idea what it is.
Monkey has a dragon on its tail. It's like having a monkey on your back, but instead having a dragon on your
being
monkey.
a drop monkey and having dragon on your tail.
There's one in that bunch of, and then another one down below in the pocket, and then
Wow, there's even more? It keeps going. What the heck?
so many opportunities to find dragons that don't exist.
Sometimes I see people argue about the characteristics of dragons.
What?
Sometimes I see people argue about the characteristics of dragons.
Like in real life,
Yeah. Like in
you see people.
no, like in Discord or whatever, like a text chat meeting or Twitch chat, right? They'll be like, oh,
Okay.
no, dragons, have 4 legs or something like that, and and
Oh, there's one in that plant. Go back.
oh, yeah.
There, in that, yeah. Like,
And-
people argue over...
Yeah.
There's one, to your right. Yeah. There you go.
And if there's one thing I'm gonna be like, it's less standard than you think, it's gonna be fictional creatures.
Right. Well, what? Why? Is it just because people just like to argue?
Maybe. It might be
Do they really have...
a personality type correlation, right? Like being a nerd and like there's the whole is it college humor or something like that? The comedians there who say like actually is the name of the game show that they have.
Oh, it's Dropout. now.
Yeah.
But yeah, college humor.
They have a game show called Actually, right, where you say something and then the host says something and then the contestants have to correct them.
Up.
I can't hear you. Like, are you saying up?
It's behind that tree. Yes.
This tree?
The stumpy tree.
Sorry, what?
The stumpy tree.
Oh, I see.
You can't hear me very well.
Yeah, I can't hear you very well.
Mm.
Especially when you said there.
There's one.
Now it's louder.
There's one with the driver. Okay.
Fuck you, just a question if I may. It's about recent events, recent things, notes, habits out in their work. For someone with anxiety, or should I say diagnosed with anxiety, is it common for them to experience random hand gesture, hand motions out of nowhere? For example, when they experience excitement or other emotions, mood. I heard this is common for autistic kids and people with autism. But can someone with higher levels of anxiety, severe anxiety, experience those same symptoms / habits?
So tics are random motor movements that you can get, and could include some hand motions. There's also a variety of other things that look sort of like tics but might not be. For example, there's something called motor overflow, which is where you get excited or nervous or something, and those emotions come out of your body in other ways. You're exerting yourself, or you're excited, or you're upset. So for example, if you go to the hospital waiting room and you look around at everybody who's waiting to find out if their loved one is alive or dead, you will see all kinds of movement. People will be rocking, people will be wringing their hands, people will be pacing. That's all motor overflow. They're having a lot of emotions, and so it's coming out. Basically, it's actually failing to suppress, but for our purposes we can say it's just sort of coming out of them in those situations. And that's obviously very common in everyone under a high degree of stress. It can also happen under high degrees of exertion. So for example, if you remember Michael Jordan, the basketball player, he was sort of famous for when he would do a slam dunk, his tongue would also sort of involuntarily exit his mouth, right? And
I've
like every
never heard of
picture of
that.
Michael Jordan, if you look up Michael Jordan dunking or whatever, like you'll see his tongue is outside of his mouth. He's going right? Some tennis players are famous for their grunting. And that's basically vocal motor overflow. So they're hitting the ball and they go, oh, right? Monica Seles, for example, was sort of famous for that. And that's just overflow. And so that's common. It can also happen when you're excited. Little kids, especially with or without autism, will hand flap when they're excited. Like their hands will go, right? Like it looks like jazz hands. And humans will do that too. If you've ever watched somebody get called on for The Price is Right.
In contrast to the kids.
Adults.
Yeah.
Sorry, adults do it too. So if you watch like The Price is Right and somebody, they say, come on down. Like when the person comes down, they're vibrating. We don't think it's odd because we can read the emotion in that situation. And so you don't even notice that. But if you took a a picture of them and removed the context and the sound, you'd be like, oh gosh, that person is quote unquote stimming. They're not, they just have some overflow in that situation. People with autism also have a lot of motor overflow because autism, at least some phenotypes of it, seem to involve that same brain area that gates motor behaviors. It's the area of the brain is called the basal ganglia, but it's like the motor habit center of your brain. And what it does is it's constantly acting like a huge brake, like a brake on a car, and it's saying, "Don't do any of those movements that you know how to do. This isn't the right context." And then when it is the right context, your basal ganglia, that brake turns off, and it allows that behavior. When you're really nervous, when you're really excited, when you're exerting yourself a lot, or when you have autism, that brake fails, and you might release a behavior, release more motor movement or sound or that sort of stuff than you would under ordinary conditions. And that's called motor overflow. If you do it pretty regularly, it could be called a tic. If you have this like sort of urge to do it, it could also, you could have a stereotypy, which is similar to a tic but a little bit different. Doesn't matter. You can have complex tics, which are like these complicated movements. OCD, having to like check or tie your shoes a certain number of times, or like I have to pick up pennies when I see them, or that sort of thing, involves the same part of the brain. It's like this motor behavior or ritual that is helpful in some contexts but should be being suppressed in this context, and it isn't. So this basal ganglia area of the brain is involved in a lot of things, including autism, but also it's common in people without any diagnosis. It's common in other disorders that involve the basal ganglia, like anxiety, ADHD, Parkinson's disease, learning difficulties, motor planning problems, OCD, I mentioned OCPD, that sort of thing. Tourette's syndrome. So that's probably way too too complicated of an answer for your question. The answer to your question is yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, taken literally,
TLDR.
empirically, yes, it's it can happen because it happened to you, right? So therefore, it can happen. I'm presuming.
That door.
Sorry.
Go back in the arch of the door.
I'm presuming that it happened to you because that's the reason you're asking.
There you go. Is that not one? Oh, I thought that was.
The other, you listed a couple of situations, like the Price is Right contestant or whatever. The other one I'm thinking of is some portrayals of effeminate people. Like I'm thinking of the Birdcage.
Oh, sure.
What's it called? Is that?
Mm-hmm.
But there's like, the Birdcage is the name of the play, but then they named the movie something else, but I can't remember what it was.
Like Casual Falls.
Is that the name of the movie? I think
Casual Falls was the original, and the Birdcage is the name of the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds plausible. So there's like Robin Williams and Nathan. I forgot the last name of the other guy. Nathan Lane, yeah. But so he's definitely like he spills his tea or something like that, and then so he shrieks and his hands wave and
kind of flap. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then
it's a behavior associated with younger children. So when somebody is overacting or over dramatic, we tend to resort to child associated behaviors. It makes us look younger, more effeminate, more in need of help, more dramatic, less controlled. So we do lots of like childlike behaviors when we're excited. We shriek, we jump up and down, we act really goofy, we laugh a lot, right? And so that yes, that behavior can also emerge when you're in a situation where you're possibly unconsciously acting like a younger person.
Let's see. John says, can these habit tick movement symptoms happen out of nowhere or with age over time? For example, someone who never experienced a gain such.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, like tremors can emerge at any age, for example, but tics can too. When they do, usually what's happened is the person is highly stressed or not sleeping well, or a really common culprit of them that a lot of people can relate to is you've just had too much caffeine. So I get like an eye twitch when I've had too much caffeine, but you can also get like little tics, little tremors, that sort of thing. They can also be a sign of like the development of a benign tremor, the development of a benign stereotypy. You can also get what are called functional tics, which is like they're sort of stress leaking out of your body, but not consciously. So a lot of people develop functional tics, meaning like there's nothing, we can't see anything in your brain. It's probably a sign of stress, but that doesn't mean it's any less real that you have this thing. In most cases, if there's no other symptoms and the movement is not uncomfortable or painful or debilitating or interfering with your life or something, the chances of it being something other than perfectly benign are quite low. The risky things are like, Parkinson's disease if you're a man and over age 65. What else? Theoretically, it wouldn't be your only symptom, but if you have a whole bunch of other symptoms, it could be a symptom of like a brain tumor, something like that. But it would not be your only symptom. Most of the time, they are functional, stress, benign, too much caffeine, not enough sleep, that kind of thing.
So fucking sure you didn't answer my question about the video game report of the video game crash or something like that.
You know how sometimes you have an angel on your shoulder and other times you have a dragon on your shoulder?
No.
Oh.
That's never happened to me.
It's a thing. It's totally a thing. Found 50% of available dragons.
Oh, 50% 0 is 0, so... Funny says, I can revisit it, did do it, but I might have forgotten some of it. Yeah, I mean, I'm worried you're making it like a bigger project than it really is.
What are we doing with the video game thing?
This was part of my effort to get Funkytron to think about how one knows what one knows.
Oh. Epistemology?
Yeah. So the example I think you and I, Steph, we talked about was about knowing, like, moon formation around Mercury. Like, do you know why there's no moons that form around Mercury? And then naively you might read, you might look up Google AI. You might ask Google AI and it tells you because of the solar winds stripped away the hydrogen in the atmosphere, right? Do you remember this conversation?
No, but I believe you.
Okay. And so then my response to that is like, unless you know why having hydrogen in the atmosphere leads to food formation, just reciting that answer doesn't indicate that you know why there's no moon around Mercury.
Gotcha.
And so to try to I'm not super knowledgeable about pedagogy. But I'm trying to figure out how do I teach the skill, right? And so I told Funkytron, like, teach me or Steph, like, anything on any topic whatsoever, just, and then we will ask you questions like a 5-year-old, to see if you actually understand that topic.
Right.
And yeah, Funkytron says it was originally about operant conditioning. But then he changed it to the video game crash of the 80s, I guess it was. Figure says, how much does
video
Steph
game
know?
crash, like the market crash?
Yeah,
or
I think
like...
so.
Oh, okay.
Figure says, how much does Steph know about operant conditioning? That may be something she knows a lot about. She probably knows a lot about it, but it doesn't have to be on a topic that we know a lot about, right? Like, it's literally any topic at all. And you don't have to do, it's not like you're going to write an essay. It's like you're going to tell us one thing, like one sentence fact. Like, did you know that there was a video game crash in the 1980s, for example? Like, maybe that is your fact. And then we'll be like, how do you know that? Like, or what, where you ask something. So that, what I mean is, like,
Right, like,
it's not going to be like
market crash, or did you mean software crash?
Yeah. What I mean is, like, it's not like you're going to prepare, like, a multiple page report on this, right? Because you're not going to be able to type, even if you did prepare that report, you're not going to be able to type 5 pages into Twitch chat. The exercise is just to say anything you know, anything at all, and then we're going to dig deeper on that, on how do you know that. That's one part of it. That's one part of it. The other part of the exercise is you were asking her, Funkytron, or maybe not explicitly, but you implicitly, how do you know when is a good time to bring up this topic, right? And I told you, like, in the previous time, like maybe 5 streams ago, if we're in the game where the NPC is talking, like if there's an NPC talking to me, then it's not a good time, right? Because I have to pay attention to what the NPC is saying. If me and Steph are like having an argument with each other, it's not a good time. Like when we were playing that scary game and we were upset with each other for some reason, Steph and I. But like right now, Steph and I, we're not saying anything to each other. We're not thinking hard. We're not like doing quantum physics puzzles. This is brainless. There's no NPCs talking to us. And Steph and I don't have anything to say to each other. So this is like the perfect time for you to say like anything at all, like, so that we can talk about it.
Do you know what the capital of Burkina Faso is?
No, I don't even know what Burkina Faso is.
Would you like to guess?
It's a country.
It is. It's a country in...
Earth.
Yes. Good. Can you be more specific? Could you be less specific?
Solar system.
Good. It's a country in Africa, and the capital is Ouagadougou.
Sounds fake.
Isn't that amazing?
You made that up.
Ouagadougou.
Not a real country, not a real capital.
Right.
There's a classic joke, right? What was the name of the country? I don't remember.
Burkina Faso.
Say it again.
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso. So what's the capital of Burkina Faso? It's B, right? B is the capital. I guess F also. That's the classic joke.
Incorrect. It's Ouagadougou.
Alright, let's switch games, I guess.
But you haven't found this last dragon.
Yeah, but it's been
Or
an
these
hour.
last 2.
And like I missed like 8 streams, I don't know, 4 games. So I'm super behind my schedule.
There's no dragons.
Yeah. The next one is called Hidden Cat Outlaws. Hidden Cats Outlaws. Done. Foyer says, I did have a good time reading about operant conditioning, not just testing, but can be applied to anything such as pets, parenting, school, anything where pattern or behavior can be repeated and or taught over time. I was reading about potty training, for example, not just For dogs, this can be applied to toddlers. For other forms of training, it doesn't always have to be physical reward. It can be repetition as well.
Yep. So what's the difference between operant conditioning and classical conditioning?
Click on cats and boss targets. Hold and drag to move camera and zoom in and out. Some cats hide in buildings. You need a key to open them. Click on buildings with that icon to fight a boss. Use hint buttons to get stuck. Wait, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to find the cats?
Click on cats or bosses
Here's a
and
cat.
like hold down something.
We're like catching the cats, I guess. They're like strays. Here's a key, I guess. I mean a lock that we need to find a key for. Here's a key. Alright, so then we open the thing. And then we're fighting a boss? Like wanted. Is that $100,000?
Because it's a cat outlaw.
This horse is making eyes at me.
It's so...
Look at her mascara.
I don't think that just because a horse wears mascara that means that she wants it. I was asking for it. My internet connection isn't fast enough for what's happening on the screen, so I don't know what we're doing in this game. All I can see is sort of a blur of movement.
I think we're clicking on the cats. And sometimes you have to go inside buildings, which means you have to find keys. Oh, is this
What
a
are the
boss,
keys
maybe?
to?
They unlock the building. Like, the building is locked.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then there's bullseyes that are mostly grayed out, but one of them turns red, so I click on the one that turned red. And I guess now we caught this boss. And I guess he dropped a map, which gives you a clue to something. So it's like, there's an
Okay.
outhouse, and there's this, like, kind of hexagonal patch of moss or something, but with one piece missing. Two cactuses nearby, too. So I guess let's go there, I guess. And then I think that was over here, right? No.
Is the boss
Over
a
here.
cat?
Yeah. Now we got a mask, I guess. Golden mask treasure, it says.
Okay. And so are we looking for cats out here?
Yeah.
What about the little cat carriers? Are we looking for them?
Cat care is what happens to the cat after I click on them.
What about that dead cat?
I think that's the boss we just fought. 5
Oh,
seconds
okay.
ago. But apparently I got one of those Indian headdresses too, so we should look for that as well. But not these normal cowboy hats, I guess.
An Indian headdress?
Yeah.
Like feather stuff?
Yeah.
What about that beaver?
I don't see a beaver.
That's not a beaver, that's a horse.
Oh, maybe it's up here. Maybe these are what they have to find. So it looks like a jug and maybe a potted plant. Because we found the headdress.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look. Okay, so you see there's a cat here?
There's a cat, yeah.
So I'm going to click on him.
What happened?
Now he's a
Okay.
cat in the cat carrier.
Oh, and it said 7 before, and now it says 6. Okay.
Here's a beaver.
No, that's not a... There's one.
There's one what?
Oh, of the things that we have to find.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Now we just need a potted plant and 5 cats, right?
Yeah. Here, look, here's a
See,
beaver.
there's the beaver. Yeah. Was there a cat behind the tree?
I don't know. I guess not.
Okay.
Here's one.
Okay.
Here's the pot plant.
There's the potted plant.
click on 10 decoys. It's not really a decoy, it's just like something visually interesting, so I clicked on it. Like I didn't think that the vulture or that the Indian guy was a cat.
Just be happy with your accomplishments.
Is there any cats in here? Besides the one that we jailed? Guess not.
There's one on the roof of that building.
Thank you.
Sure. Oh, there's one on the roof of the hotel also.
Microphone. I know you said this a while ago. Oh no, wait, this is a new message. Just a random conversation we had before, not a question, just a random thought. I mean, so Steph asked you what's the difference between classical conditioning and operant conditioning, right? And it's okay if you don't know, but like the point exercise here is
There's one.
to help you figure out, like, you know, to realize you don't know or something, and then maybe this is a whole new knowledge, and then you can do some more research or read up on it.
I think operant conditioning is quite interesting. Once you understand operant, like, so classical conditioning was first, right? And then we discovered operant conditioning, and then after that you can go to sort of like social learning as well. And then you can start thinking about, is anything we do actually unconditioned? Or are we all just responding to conditions, you know, to like rewards and punishment, social reward, social punishment, expectations of social reward and punishment all the time? And then you can start thinking about, like, is that what dopamine is doing? Is dopamine predicting rewards and punishments? And yeah, it can kind of go some interesting places from there. There's a whole bunch of cats.
No, find them.
There's one in the corn. Yeah.
Funger says you're talking about Pavlov's dog. Well, maybe.
Mhm.
What do you know about Pavlov's dog?
Yeah. Is that cow making eyes at you, or?
Yeah, I think so. Both of them are.
Okay. If something has eyelashes, it's making eyes at you, right?
Yeah. It's also...
Okay. Birds know because they don't have eyelashes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's... Eyelashes is the universal cartoon symbol for is female, right?
It's one of them for sure, yeah.
I think it's a beaver.
Yeah. It's trying to catch a train. There's one on the roof there.
We still need like a chair
made it cool.
and a bandana, I guess. Here's the chair,
Okay.
I guess.
Also, we have to fight the boss?
Yeah, we may have already done that. I don't remember.
This level? We didn't get a treasure map. Maybe
They don't always give you treasure maps.
What would be the point of a level without a treasure map? That sounds lame. Does this game make you slightly carsick, or is that just me?
Might be just you.
Okay.
But I mean, there is... I don't know that it's universal. Like, so there are games that make me sick, and I think there's like... intensities. Like games that I get sick by, a lot of my other friends will also get sick by. But
There's the bandana.
it's not guaranteed, right? It's not.
Right.
There's one more cat somewhere. Yeah, see, this is the symbol of the boss being dead, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he did drop a map. So it's near the lake with the windmill. Where's that? Guess it's here. Pharaoh's crown.
Finally. Oh, there it is.
Where?
In the go down. There in the yellow. In
In
the
the
light
yellow?
yellow, in the middle, the dark yellow.
Oh, I see it.
To go there. Why is that cat so mad at you?
That's how cats are.
What?
Aren't cats always angry?
No.
Like, here's the active boss icon, I think. So
Gotcha.
I click on it, and now there's these target signs. I click on them. And then there's this red bar that's decreasing, which I guess is his health bar.
Like this is the boss level? Is like you just click these buttons?
Yeah, and now
Is
the
there a
boss
way
is
to
defeated.
move that?
I don't know, but we're looking for a fenced in area with like this random like rock mountain mesa thing
Stump? Yeah.
with a shack next
Did
to
you
it.
say mesa?
Yeah, isn't that what mesas
Mesa.
are?
Mesa.
Mesa? It must be right here.
Yeah. Oh, you found a cool dragon.
The dragons don't exist.
Oh, there's one on top of the mesa.
Yeah, so people argue about that, right? They'll say like, "Oh, dragon," and they'll be like, "It's arbitrary, like it's made up, it's not real." And different authors
Right.
of books or whatever will make up different rules about how their dragons work.
It's true. There's one on top of that arch there. And there's also a key in the middle of that field.
A key? Oh yeah, I see now.
Oh.
So now we unlocked this.
Did you get it?
Yeah,
Oh.
so clicking the key scrolls me to the shack.
Okay.
It scrolls you to the shack
Oh,
that
I-
unlocks. Then we go in and then we find the one or two cats that are in there.
There's one in front of that barrel. You see the barrels?
See,
Yeah.
thank you. There's a key, so I click on it, it scrolls me to this TP, I guess.
Weird. There's one in front of that mesa on the
Guys,
far left. There's a key on top of that. I mean, it's pretty relaxing, I guess.
yeah,
You're just finding.
safe for the motion sickness,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah. I think if I were controlling it,
Yeah,
it probably wouldn't give me motion sickness.
very probable.
Yeah.
There's also this phenomena of words starting off vague and then meaning something more specific as time goes on.
There's one by that cactus at the bottom of the screen. The single cactus. There you go. Yeah, okay. You want to say more about that?
Yeah, but I forgot what now.
Dragons and cats? Or dragons and vague words.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Oh, there's one. The tree next to the totem pole on the left of the screen. There's one in front. There you go.
I think worm, for example, used to be like any lowly disgusting creature before it became like, you know, that that wriggly pink thing.
Right. Like meteor used to mean anything up in the sky.
I wasn't aware of
and
that
that's where
one.
we got like meteorology.
Okay.
Like meteorology is like the study of anything up in the sky, but then over time it became more specific to just refer to meteors.
Yeah. Or girl used to be gender neutral, right? It was just like the way what kid means today is like, you know, a kid can be a boy or a girl.
I didn't know that.
And a girl is just a young person.
Oh, interesting.
This is from
Just in English or in all words?
Well, this is in the 1300s, I think.
Okay.
So Old English. And it descends from like GYR or something like that. It's in I don't know, whatever. Ger from Germanic or something like that.
We're also looking for like a briefcase thingy.
I found these. I think I found all three of these things.
Oh, there it is? Okay. It looks sort of grayed out, but maybe it isn't. So we're just looking for 5 cats.
Yeah. Boogie says, how easily or harder do you think someone like me is to learn operant conditioning, classical conditioning, Pavlov's dogs, B.F. Skinner? I mean, I can learn it, but there might be more things left out relating to that, leading to more curiosity, meaning I have to learn the history in other terms. I can understand the basics of a given subject or word term, but also lead down rabbit hole to get the entire picture, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, it's like, this is why I said, like, pick a topic that interests you, right? Like, whether that's operant conditioning or the video game crash or whatever. Because the goal here is you're going to tell us something, and then we're going to ask you a question. And if you know the answer, that's great. You give us the answer, and then we'll ask a follow-up question. At some point, we're going to ask you something, and you don't know the answer, right? And that's, now you have a guided path of what to look up next or what to read about next. This is how you can find the gaps in your knowledge, right? That's the whole point of the exercise. And
that's actually why they say, like, for example, writing about something is a good way to find out what you know and don't know, because you start writing about it and like realize, like, oh wait, like, why would they call it operant conditioning? What does that mean? There's another type of conditioning? Yeah. And then you start thinking, like, gosh, I wonder if anyone else has thought about that, or like you forget something and so you go look it up, and Wikipedia is like, oh yeah, this contrasts with, you know, classical conditioning, and you're like, wait, what? Right? But to answer your question a little bit more practically, operant and classical conditioning are kind of routinely covered in Psych 101. So I think someone like you could, you know, like, I think they're accessible to most people. It just, the problem of being an autodidact, you know, teaching yourself these things, is that you don't know what you don't know, right? Until you confront the limits of your knowledge this way. Whereas when you're taking a class on it, they have structured
what you don't know.
Yeah, the teacher knows what you don't know, exactly.
Choose the topics, you know, to guide you along a specific path. Yeah.
And be like, hey, what if you learned about these topics? And you're like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So that's the trick about being an autodidact, is like, you don't know what you don't know. I'm trying to teach myself right now, like, brain networks and stuff like that. And I'll be learning about a brain network, and then it'll be referred to by a different name, or a different name will be discussed, or like, so, and I'm just like, you can start feeling like, when does it end? What, do I ever actually know anything? Like, if I wrote about this or tried to tell someone about it, would I have an embarrassingly small amount of knowledge? Do I have a large amount? I don't know. It's fascinating, right? Trying to be an autodidact.
Yeah.
What are you trying to teach yourself about right now, Neb?
A lot of physics stuff. I'm jumping around a lot between different topics. So quantum field theory is the
There's
main
a
the
cat
thing.
by that lake there.
There's a cat
by the
oh yeah, I
corner.
see it. Quantum field theory. I ran into problems where like I can't remember what it was, but I felt like there was relativity as a prerequisite. Like I know it in popular science terms, but I don't know the math behind it.
Gotcha.
So I started picking up a textbook on the math behind it, and I'm going through that now, I guess. But I'm also running, like I'm struggling on it because now I'm realizing I don't know calculus as well as the author expects.
Right.
The thing is, like, I passed
Yeah.
calculus, right? But I didn't use it, so I lose it. I lost it.
Right.
And so, like, when they say, like, what's the derivative of this? It's like, oh, I have to go look it up, right? I don't remember. I don't remember what the derivative of this equation is.
Right. I remember that derivative is related to calculus in some way. Is that helpful? Yeah,
And
I
they-
was just doing a. Oh, go ahead.
I feel like this author skips steps also, which annoys me. Like he says, like, you know, like it's typical in math books for you to, or in math texts to say, like, you write multiple lines one after the other and they're all equal to each other, right? I don't know if you're familiar with this, and because I don't know how much physics or hard sciences you read, Steph, but I figure you probably exposed to at least some of it being in science at all. But so like there'll be a line where I say, like, how do you get from this line to this next line? Like there's they're doing something, like, you know, multiplying both sides by x or something, you know, but I don't know what they're doing. I'm like, how do you get from here to here? And so that's what I mean by skipping some steps. Like, it's not obvious to me. Like the author is asserting, like, you know, these two are equal, and I was like, I'm not seeing it. How did you get from this equation to this equation?
Yeah.
And
Can you go back to the corn?
corn. I don't remember where the corn is. Am I heading the right direction?
It's to your right.
To my
Yeah,
right.
but to your right
Here's a lake. Is that better?
and down. Go down. Okay, in that corn. Oh, that's just a weird thing on the ground. Okay, I thought maybe there was a cattail.
Or maybe let me.
It sounds frustrating what you're describing.
Yeah, I want to show. I have an example, I think, that I can find real quick, hopefully. Because I sent like a screenshot of it to someone over Discord, so I have to just find that screenshot again.
Sure.
There we go. So events are like points in space-time. Choose inertial coordinates such that the straight trajectory describes a motionless particle event A located at these coordinates t and x 0, 0, c located at delta t 0. The two paths then describe an isosceles triangle in space-time. B has coordinates 1/2 delta t 0. Blah blah blah. Clearly, I love it when they say that. Right? Clearly, delta tau ab equals 1/2 delta t, but delta tau ab prime equals this. Which so up until now, just take it on faith, right? He's seconds. But now, from here, equals to this. I'm like, wait, how is this equal to this? And I was stuck at, like, here. I notated this. I said, here's line 1, here's line 2. How is line 1 equal line 2? And I was stuck on it. Like, it took me a day to figure it out. Like, I saw this, I put it down, I came back the next day, and I was like, oh, I see now. But like,
Sure, obviously.
you could have done it more explicitly. I don't know if do you want to try to figure it out, or you want me to just tell you the solution?
No, I don't. Like, you take out the half, you...
Yeah, but you can't just take half out of a square root. It won't be equal, right? Like, because, like, there's a half here, but then there's a minus here. So, like, if you take a half out here, you have to take out a half from here somehow, right?
Right, because the triangle x equals 1/2 of v triangle T.
Yeah,
And so you can
that's right.
substitute that.
Yeah, that's what I was missing. You got it right away. You saw.
Right.
I was like, I'm looking here, dude. Like,
But
okay,
only because
what if I like?
I can't understand it at all.
Well, I was saying like I'm just gonna cross multiply it out, right? Like I'm gonna
Right,
say like
right.
1/4 over delta t squared minus delta x squared.
Right, you understand it enough
and then
to
like
try
from there,
and do it, which screwed you up.
yeah. But then I was if you just take this substitute in, then that's a missing step. Like you should just have an intermediate step here where he literally says like 1/2 delta t squared minus 1/2 v delta t squared. Like take this, and then from there, then you can get to here, and then it's like, oh, there you go.
Oh yeah. I have a much simpler example, which is that today I was trying to practice pronouns in Spanish.
Okay.
When you put them before the verb, and so ChatGPT was helping me practice that. So I was trying to know when to say I did it versus I gave it to her. Like you'll use a different pronoun for it and for her, and whether it's an indirect or direct object. So I was having it help me practice, and I was like, here's some sentences that you can translate, but all the sentences were in the past tense. Like I did it, I gave it, and I was like, oh shit. Now I have to know, I have to be able to conjugate my verbs accurately as well. And I was just like, oh, that's also a limit of my knowledge.
Right.
Oops. I might be worse at that than I am at the pronouns. So
I gotta find this last cat. What the heck?
why don't you just find the last cat?
The other thing is, I feel like I don't know if this is cognitive decline, but I'm struggling to remember what all the symbols mean when I'm reading these formulas.
Oh no, I think it's just lack of practice using them, right?
Well, I feel like in the past, and again, so it's difficult for me to know, is it cognitive decline, or is it because I'm reading things that is this topic too far out of my level? Like when I was in high school, right? And they're introducing new symbols all the time. I've never seen, there's a first time you encounter sine and cosine, for example. There's a first time you encounter fractions. And I felt like I was just like, yeah, you tell it to me once and I got it, right? And then I just know that, this symbol means sine.
I think your brain gets better at ignoring things like that as you get older. You pay less attention to it. You just sort of gloss over it. I feel like you should check the buildings.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I saw a cat in one of the buildings. And I was going to say something, but it was so fast.
The thing is now, again, I don't want to insult you, Steph, but because I don't know what your math familiarity is, so I'm gonna maybe over-explain, and maybe that's fine because it might help the viewers as well. But there's there's when you add things together or you multiply things together, you can do with just numbers, normal numbers, right? But you can also, well, in the same sense, I guess you can think of adding two integers together and then adding two fractions together is a slightly different operation, right? You have to do slightly different things when you're doing that. Like maybe for fractions, you have to make sure they have the same base, for example, first before you add them together, right?
Yeah.
So getting a bit more advanced than that, there's things called vectors and matrices, and then there's rules for how you add those together, which is a little bit more complicated than just adding normal numbers, I guess, together. So and addition is one thing. There's rules for multiplying and things like that. And so he'll have this equation, the author of the book, and then I'll be looking at the symbols in the equation, and I can't remember is this a vector or is this a scalar? Scalar is another word for normal number, basically.
Right.
And so what do I do when I multiply these together? Because it's different if it's a scalar versus if it's a vector.
Yeah.
And I can't remember.
I think
what the symbol
it's not really designed for someone to just. Yeah, I'm guessing it's pedagogical issue. Like, I'm guessing it's not a very well-written textbook, or it's a textbook that really needs to be reinforced by doing the exercises a little bit more slowly together in class or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to do it slowly. Like when I got to that, like it's the equation we just looked at, right? It's very convenient to say like the author says like clearly this, right? And then you're like okay, and then you move on, right? But I'm like wait, is this true? Let me see. And then I try to follow it, and I get stuck because I say it's not true. You know how did this v get out of nowhere? And then I was because you're substituting in for the delta x.
Right.
So I feel like I am going at it slowly, but I feel like it's just too much working memory needed. Like I can't remember. Yeah. Like there'll be like 7 or 8 symbols in the equation, right? And what does each symbol mean? I have to remember that. I have to hold it in my head while looking at the equation, and then.
Yeah. And depression does directly affect working memory too, so there could be some of that.
Okay.
I like the noise you made.
The noise I made was me saying okay.
Was it? That sounded like...
Oh. Yeah. Where's this freaking cat?
But do you see that rock-looking thing inside the cornfield?
So there's this thing.
That's not...
Which is like a
Yeah,
rock. And
that's
there's
not...
this thing which is like a hat or a hole or something.
Yeah, and neither of them are useful. Okay. Let's look on top of all the buildings. Sometimes that's where cats live.
The other thing, I'm not sure if this is a Sapphire Wharf thing or something different but related, but like if you don't know how to pronounce a word, I feel like it's harder to remember it.
Yeah, agreed.
So for example, like if you have a list of words, like there's probably a psychology test, right? Where it says here's a list of words like cat, snowman, and umbrella, and so on, and then you just have to memorize it. There's no real semantic meaning from it, right? You just memorize a list of words and then you repeat back, and most people can do okay at that, right? Like maybe they can remember a list of 10 words or 12 words or something like that, right?
Okay.
But like if you show like now memorize these Chinese characters, assuming you don't read Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Just memorize 3 characters. Just just 3. That's
right.
all. Not even 12.
Yeah.
There's no semantic content. It's the same, right? You don't,
right.
But it's like super impossible, right? It's like
it is, yeah. It's because you can chunk things that are familiar, and so then you can remember like 7 things. But if you can't chunk, you can really only remember like 3 to 4.
But I don't know
if you're not familiar with it, you can't chunk.
Well, I'm wondering if that, like, to me, that doesn't seem to be what the cause is. Because here I'm saying, like, with English words, you can memorize, like, maybe 12 of them, right? Like, I think it's reasonable to, if you really, focus it hard, you see a list of 12 words, and then you're given a list of 50 words, and you circle which 12 words were in the original list, right? And I think people could do that. Like, a typical person could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're given, like, not 12, but now just 3 Chinese words, and then now here's a list of 10 Chinese words, circle the ones that were in the original.
Yes.
I guess maybe it's chunking in the sense of without chunking, like because you don't have the semantics, what you have to do is you have to memorize each individual stroke, right? Each line.
Right, exactly. I was just going to explain why that's chunking.
Whereas you're chunking it as a word once, if you knew the word, if you could read it, you say, oh, that's a word for dog. I'll just remember dog.
Right.
Instead of remembering the 4 or 5 lines that use the right dog.
Exactly. So like you can memorize the word, and I'm using it in air quotes that you can't see, but the word FBI, right? But and so if I say, hey, remember FBI, JFK, NASA, CIA, right? To you, that's only 4 things, even though it's 13 letters.
Yeah.
If I gave you 13 letters, you're going to be like, you've exceeded my capacity.
Right.
but you easily, right? And so when you chunk it as a word, you're chunking it. Whereas a Chinese character, like you said, like it's however many strokes, and not only the stroke, but like you got to remember like the angle that it's at and how it's related to another thing, and each of those is sort of like a letter, even though it doesn't explicitly look like a letter on the page.
Yeah.
It's an aspect of what you're trying to memorize. In the literature, we sometimes say like complex versus not complex information, but it's really like
how do you define
familiarity,
that?
chunking.
How do you know what information is complex and what information is not?
Basically, like how chunkable it is, honestly. This cat doesn't exist.
Just like the dragons.
Yeah.
Because like, and let me open up that image again that I had before. I close it so I gotta reopen it. Here we go. So you call it this triangle, right? But it's I know it's delta,
Right.
because this symbol comes up a lot in basic physics. But there's other symbols,
Right.
like this is tau, which is less. I don't expect people to know that one. This is both delta and tau are Greek letters.
Right.
And then if you don't know that, I think it's pretty hard to keep in your head the difference between, because this looks like T and tau is basically like the Greek T.
Oh, clearly. Yeah.
And then you look at this delta T
Like,
versus
I'm
delta
reading
tau,
it as-
right? Like, don't get them mixed
Right.
up, because you're gonna get fucked up if you mix up your delta
Right.
taus and your delta T's.
Yeah, that's a problem. But I'm reading it as triangle tab, which is
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Right? And I have trouble all the time with things like that tau versus T. Like, my brain refuses to pay attention to stuff like that. And oh man,
Yeah,
I
you
just
are gonna get
glossed
real
over
fucked up.
it.
Like, because the thing is, so the way he
Yeah.
used it, it doesn't say in this paragraph but I know from reading the rest of the book, he's using tau whenever he's talking about proper time, which is time as experienced by a person or a particle moving through space. Whereas he's using T for coordinate time. So if you have an imaginary clock at rest at that point, what time does that clock read, right? And so the idea is like if you're moving closer to the speed of light, your time is moving slower for you versus someone
I'm
at rest.
literally already so annoyed.
So that's why it's different and it's important. You have to differentiate between delta T
No.
and delta tau,
No, thank you.
or else
Do
you're
not
gonna
want
get
to.
everything wrong. Like,
Nope. Yeah.
And the other thing is like, so here, this one I understand, but you have to realize that there's a prime here, and prime is it's a common convention in physics to mark as like an alternative to something. And in this case, what he's saying is there's two paths from point A to point B, and there's a different point called B prime. So so what's the delta tau from A to B, like if you go along this path, versus what's the tau from delta A to B prime, where if you take a different path, you're going to experience a different amount of time passing, is what he's trying to get at in the. But like, when you look at this symbol down here, the delta tau A B prime, you have to understand that the prime is to the B, right? Like it's a different B, a different destination.
Triangle tab.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
Not the
triangle
delta
prime.
tau is being prime, not a different duration, but a different destination. Yeah. And so in this one I can understand it, right? But in the other example, I don't know if I can find the example now, but because I don't have the PDF readily available to me, the original PDF, I just have the Discord thing. But like he has these things, so it's like all these Greek letters, like 12 Greek letters in a row with subscripts, superscripts. Like these are the subscripts, right? A, B. And like I'm like, which subscript goes with which letter, which what cluster? Like when you see a prime, is it on the B or is it on the tau? And I can't I think if I had more working memory, I could figure it out. Like I think he tells you, like, but I can't hold it in my head at the same, like all at the same time while understanding the equation, right? And that's why I'm like, I'm trying to figure out, like, could I have done this when I was younger? Like, am I having gone into decline? Or is it like this material is just harder than any other material I've done before? And so even younger, I would not have been able to do it. And I'm just gonna have to put more work, I guess,
I think you would have had a lot of support in the form of other readings, discussing it in lecture, your peers also learning it. It would have been spoken as well as written.
Oh yeah, the spoken thing. Yeah, so that's part of it, right? When I was talking about the Chinese thing, so like you'll use Greek letters. I don't know what those Greek letters are, so I can't. So I don't know how they're pronounced, right? So to me, so now they're so now they're the Chinese thing. There's like I have to memorize the shape as opposed to like in my internal monologue, I say, oh, that's dog. I'll just memorize dog, or it's delta. I'll just memorize delta, right? Like, it's a character. I don't know what that character is. I've never seen it before. And then
is that, you know, that thing that's on top of the wheel of the next to that wagon? Is that a cat? I don't think
it's like a loaf of bread, I think, or something. I don't know. Or it's a rock with the wrong Z buffer, right? We talked about that concept before, where like I think it's supposed to be underneath the wagon, but it's on top of the wagon.
Right. Okay.
All right, let's use a hint. Let me also, I guess, switch my tab here so I can see. Obviously.
Oh, it's right there.
The whole time.
It's sitting there the whole time. Cat Prime.
I'll post it in the Discord after stream, I guess, with the formula I was looking at that I can't, like, there's a whole bunch of that. I talk about working memory. I talk about the conation also, maybe. You know, when a long time ago when you taught me the word conation stuff, I talked about like when you see 10,000 bits and your brain just shuts down because you can't hold all those bits in your head at the same time. I feel like that's what's happening. I look at this equation and I'm like, there's too many letters. Like there's too many terms in the equation. I can't figure out, you know, whether what all the letters are, what are we referencing. And which of these letters are matrices, which of these letters are scalars, and...
Right.
What is going on? I guess it's at the border between maybe a grass and a desert plain, and there's a bunch of trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's a grassy part. Maybe around here? Yeah, it looks like it's right here, I think.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right there.
Antique chess set.
There's a cat under that tree.
Thank you. There's a lantern. We need maybe another headdress and a hammer.
Fantastic.
And so also part of me struggle, like if I get stuck in this equation, should I just move on? Should I just read the prose, or should I stick with it? Like I said, no, don't go on until you can also actually follow the equation. Because like you can do that once or twice, but after a while, you're gonna get completely lost if you just skip over every equation you don't understand.
Right. There's one on the roof. There's one on the dock of that pond.
Dock. Oh yeah, I see that.
And there's one next to the Yeah, it's tricky. I think the other thing that, you know, in college, you know you have a test, or you know there's headdresses in one of those wagons, or you are worried about your grade, or you think it's going to be important for later classes, or you want to show off to potential mates or whatever. And like, I think when you're trying to teach yourself something later, as much as you try and psych yourself up, you do not have the same number of natural rewards. So
I feel like most of those things you talked about didn't really affect me, but I'm probably atypical that way. The exception,
maybe, but I think they probably also affected you subconsciously.
Well, I mean, so like in high school, for example, I had a habit of doing the homework, but then not handing it in, and then like getting 0.
Yeah, on one of the graves. The first grave.
Oh, I see now. So I would do the homework because I want to learn, but I didn't hand it in because I didn't care about the grade.
Right. But something probably was influencing you, right? Like, even if you're just of the age at which you're trying to kind of get status as a teenager.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, yeah, with the exception, as in none of those things you influenced me, with the exception of impressing a mate, for example.
Right.
Which is like still true today, right? I still want to impress mates.
Right.
I still want to learn that stuff.
Right. I mean, it's human motivations, right?
There's a hammer.
Go back. Yeah,
I
next
just did
to
go
that,
back.
those barrels.
Next
Next
to
to
what?
the barrels, next to the stable,
Next to the barrels. Oh, I
in
see
front
now.
of the wagon.
I think the biggest factor is there's social expectation and also you're given the time. Like as a kid, you're in school and that's all you do basically, right? Like
That's what you're doing, exactly. Your peers are modeling. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
whereas now I'm like
You don't have a job. Or
I have to
other
set
things
aside
to look off
time.
of. Yeah.
Like because I can be filing my taxes or I can be reading this PDF on special relativity and sometimes I'm like the question of like what am I wasting my time? What am I doing here?
Where
Like,
that little guy that cow was walking in the shade of that tree. Yeah. Next to yeah.
I was on this other stream and I got annoyed. I think there's like something in my personal zeitgeist where I'm getting really annoyed these days by pseudo intellectuals.
Oh. Say more.
I mean, so I'm gonna try to do it chronologically, I guess. I feel like I really noticed it starting when this person said that there are only two clefs in music. You know what a clef is? Let me.
Like bass clef and treble clef?
Yeah. So those are the two well-known clefs.
Okay.
But if you just open the Wikipedia article for clef, right away you see there's three. Right?
There's alto, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, there's actually like a lot in but the thing is, it's not super agreed on what counts as a clef. So you have like, for example, this stuff going on, right? So you could say like, arguably there could be 12 clefs even.
Gotcha.
But like, I didn't want to go that. I just say there's definitely more than two. Like, you can argue about exactly how many, but there's more than two. And the other thing is the word clef itself is a little bit undefined or underspecified. Because there's two things you can refer to by clef. There's these three things, which are like the symbols independent of the score, which are called G clef. Like this is vaguely shaped like a G. I don't know why this is called C clef. And this F clef is vaguely shaped like an F, right? But then there's also the clef when it's positioned on. And so this is the soprano, the alto. And so when you say treble clef, you're talking about, I think it's the G one. Yeah. The G clef placed at that specific position. It could
be like multiple.
Because you can place it somewhere else. Like here, this is the French violin clef, right? Which is different. But it uses the same symbol, which confusingly is also called a clef, right? So clef can refer to the symbol or it can refer to the symbol plus the position.
Right. Okay. And that's when you noticed yourself getting annoyed?
Well, the guy, he was arguing that there's exactly two. And I'm like, it takes 5 seconds to look up online and realize there's more than two. And here's a Wikipedia article. Like, here's a screenshot from the Wikipedia. This is on Discord, right? So I take a screenshot of that. I say, here are some links to YouTube music theorist teachers. All talking about here. Here's a bunch of clefs. Here's an article. But he wouldn't budge.
Right.
He says, no, there's only two.
It's
And
like, nope,
he's like,
this is
you know,
what I learned.
he's like, I've been a trumpet player since high school.
Yeah,
You know, like that's how I know there's only two. And I'm like,
here's my anecdote.
yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think? Because that's always existed, right? Why do you think it's bugging
So there's
you
that.
now?
There's the whole Trumpism of like denying facts in reality, right? Like 5 seconds I can show you the Wikipedia article on Clef, you know, to show that you're wrong. And similarly with Trump, there's 5 seconds you can do some, you know, internet search to show he's wrong about something. Doesn't matter. Not only him, but like, you know, he has a circle of people. I forget the name of the woman who's the like basically the PR spokesperson, Carolyn Levitz or something like that.
Yeah.
Constantly, you know, reinforcing what Trump says, and others. You know, he has a social circle, I guess, that supports him.
Yep.
Very annoying. Because it's sort of like
I mean, he was president before, and these things were problems, and I don't remember you being annoyed by that.
yeah, but I don't feel they were that much of a problem before, right? Like I don't know why. You don't? Does it not feel like there are factual statements about the world which are being contradicted by certain people, and that's causing a big problem now in a way it wasn't causing before? Like, for example, whether the Supreme Court is ordering Trump to return Abrego Garcia, I can't remember his exact name, to the U.S. Like that's a sort of a factual question. It's not exactly like if you want to get really metaphysical or physical about it, like in terms of physics, but there's a factual stance on that, right? And this is important. It involves his life. Like this guy is suffering based on your interpretation of what you believe the answer to that question is.
Sure.
And I feel like that wasn't really a thing that happened in his first term.
Really interesting. I feel like it happens so often that I'm like, oh, this is the new post-fact world we live in, and I don't. Like, I'm now less bothered by it, weirdly, because I'm just sort of like, oh, this is just...
Well, can you give me an example? Like, educate me what's something he did or said in the first term that...
I mean, I feel like everything he said.
Yeah, that's hard for me to like learn from, right?
I know. I'll come up with a good example.
Okay, so so it's like chronological, right? So there's 3 events. So the Clef guy, Trump, and now the third one is I was on this. There's these co-study streams on Twitch where, like, instead of streaming someone playing video games, they're streaming themselves studying, like a college student.
Oh wow!
And so
they just stream themselves studying.
Yeah, so they'll have they'll be sharing the screen.
I'm getting distracted, but like what?
They're sharing the screen. They have like their web browser or their PDF open, and they're just reading through the article. And usually in the corner, you know, like where I have the VTuber thing, like in the corner they'll have like the what's it called, the Pomodoro timer, for example. And the idea is like,
why is this a thing?
Sorry?
Why is this a thing?
Well, it's to be help with loneliness, I guess, maybe, or so, you know. It's so like people in chat will join in, and they can also use it as it's a well-known practice, I think, of doing group Pomodoro, right? Where like we all we're all acting as commitments to each other, so we all study and so the thing is, so she's studying, and she has her PDF and she has her Pomodoro timer, and then you can go and chat, and then you can also study also, and then when it rings, we all take a break together, you know, and then that type of thing. Anyway, she's
you don't
studying.
know these people, right?
Well, I mean, I talked to them in their Twitch chat.
Okay.
And I guess like some of them I don't know that well, but some of them I'm like, hey, let's, you know, add me on Discord, let's be friends, whatever, right? So I know them in that sense.
Okay.
So she's studying statistics, and actually this is one of the persons I became friends with. Like I added her on Discord, and I said, hey, send me the textbook, because I also want to learn it. And so she sent me the PDF to her textbooks, and so I'm also trying to study. It's like actuarial risk management, that type of stuff.
See that key?
There's a key
In between the 3 shrubs.
3 shrubs.
Down. Go down. 3.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
See the key?
Anyway, so this guy comes in. I think it was actually a girl, maybe. I don't remember. But the thing is, like, I don't believe anything this person says anymore, so I don't know if it actually was a girl. I guess it's not important to the story. This person, they come in and they see, like, so the streamer's studying actuarial risk management, so probability, right? They're saying, like, what's the probability? It's almost like Bayes factor type stuff, right? It's just like we have a variable that we we want to classify people based on gender, and then like they have a risk of cancer, and then like, you know, like 300 out of 600 males got cancer, and 200 out of 400 females got cancer, and so what's the error rate if we use gender as a prediction for the cancer or whatever, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And the guy, the person, the woman, whoever it is, they're like, oh, you know, like they're teaching you this all wrong. Let me tell you how to do it, right? Like you should use Feynman diagrams.
Oh God.
You know what Feynman diagrams are? Let me show you. It has nothing, like, I was like, when I was giving them the benefit of the doubt at first, when they said Feynman diagram, like, I only know one Feynman diagram, which is for particle physics, right? You're talking about electrons and positrons and emits, you see, in this Feynman diagram, an electron and positron annihilate producing photon. I'm like,
gonna help.
Yeah, I was like, this is the Feynman diagram I know, but like, did Feynman do a different type of diagram that's used in statistics? So I'm like,
maybe it's a different Feynman.
Yeah. So I'm asking, like, what are you talking about here? You talking about the thing from theoretical physics?
Right.
They didn't directly answer my question, because obviously that would, you know, expose them as a fraud or whatever. But then they start saying, like, you know, you got to use quantum physics or something like that, and that, when they started saying that, that's when I realized, like, yeah, this person's full of shit, right? Like,
right.
And then, like, I'm like, there's so many problems in probability, because they were like, oh, you know, because quantum physics is all about probabilities, right?
I mean,
and I'm like, there's so many problems in probabilities where reaching for quantum physics would be the wrong tool, and you're just gonna make your life more like, you know, you have a 50% coin flip, and like, what do you do? Like, you don't bring quantum physics into that to solve that problem.
Don't do it. It's gonna be trouble.
But like, so at first I gave them the benefit of that, but like after, I don't know, 3 or 4 lines of messages that they sent, like 3 or 4 messages, it quickly became apparent to me that what they're trying to do is they're like, I want to appear smart, so I'm going to think of the most difficult topic I can think of and claim that I understand that, and that that's the right way to understand whatever you're working on. And probably no one in the chat knows that topic, so no one will catch me, you know, when I spout bullshit.
Right.
Right, but bad luck for them is that I actually know a little bit of quantum physics, so...
That's so odd to be like, oh, I will gain status by telling you that you're being taught wrong and that I know a better way to teach you. But like, it's not a way that works.
Yeah, it's not going to work. But I think what they're gambling on is that they're going to say a bunch of things from, like, they're just going to like reference quantum physics in some way, right? Like Feynman diagram. Just say the word Feynman diagram, for example, right? And then like, and you're not going to learn it, right? You're not going to learn statistics from that because it's the wrong tool. But then you're going to be like, oh, it must be because I'm dumb and they're so much more smarter than me, right? Like, that's why I didn't learn it.
Really?
Not because they're a bad teacher.
They just think. That's so interesting. Okay.
That's my hypothesis about what was going on there socially.
Right. Yeah. It seems odd to me. It seems so parasitic, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But so I'm okay with people not knowing stuff, right? Like if you don't know quantum physics, I'm like, that's fine. Like, it doesn't make you less of a person. I don't care if you don't know.
I did that. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you pretend to know quantum physics and then and try to put down other people like that, you know, it's like that's
right. Exactly. That's what I
me.
mean. I'm like, what an odd way to try and get status.
Oh, here's a cat.
Interesting.
And so I see that also with the clef thing, right? Like he says, "Oh, I've been a trombone player for all my life or whatever," and you're wrong if you think.
That person, right.
Or also,
that feels like the person taught that and then like can't be flexible about it, or feels like admitting that they're wrong would
Yeah,
feel
and so the admitting you're wrong is
uncomfortable.
also
Like,
part
that
of it, I
motivation
think.
is more, yeah,
There's
that at
and
least feels more plausible. Like, it's not great behavior, but like I at least get it.
yeah. Well, also like the Trump thing, right? Which is like, when someone say like, like a reporter will be like, is it really true that he has MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles or something like that, right?
Right.
And Trump will be like, oh, your news outlet is going, it's terrible. Nobody watches your news like,
Yeah.
so just
Right.
putting you down, right? Like when you
Yeah.
are the one who doesn't know anything, basically. Like,
Right. Right, but at least like he's being held account. I don't know that like he's not coming in and saying to somebody else like, I know how to do statistics. Like Trump has never once.
well, I think he
You know.
is the type, like he might have said that specific thing, but has the personality type of that, I think. You heard recently,
Yeah.
like I think might have been today or yesterday. He wants to redesign fighter jet engines. Like, did you hear about that? What does he know about fighter jet engines? He doesn't know anything.
Right.
Like this is
See,
the so Dunning-Kruger, like you literally know nothing about it. Like why are you dipping your toe into this topic? Like,
Yeah. My theory about Trump is that he has a language disorder, and people will sometimes ask me how language disorders can turn into, because they can turn into narcissism. And I think he's such a good example of that, is that like he has learned that words really kind of have no meaning in his world. And so like you just like they don't have to have meaning. Or like literal meaning.
yeah.
Like obviously the stuff that he says has figurative meaning, but it doesn't have literal meaning. His words don't need to. He doesn't think that words
I have
are for the purpose of conveying truth.
I don't know if are you familiar with simulacrum? The levels of simulacrum?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll send you an article after this. I'll try to find it.
Okay.
But this is basically the less wrong community trying to model people like Trump, right? And they found out in their model there's 4 levels of simulacrum, and the lowest level, like L0, is when you say something you're speaking about reality. And then there's like 4 levels, or 3 levels above that, and like and so I think this you might find that interesting when you're talking about the thing about like the words don't have meaning, right? So like that's gesturing at the simulacrum idea, but the simulacrum idea makes it a bit more precise.
Gotcha. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to that.
I don't remember, like I haven't got the 4 levels memorized, but like so one level was talking about reality, and one level was something about like what you believe or something, or then like arguing about what society believes or something like that. Like like so there's like increasing layers of abstraction. We're no longer talking about the thing, but you're talking about how people's opinions of things should be, regardless of what they actually are. Like.
Right.
So maybe it's something like maybe you should believe that terrorists should not be allowed in the U.S. We're not going to talk about whether any individual is a terrorist. We're talking about whether or not you should believe terrorists are allowed in the U.S. Which is higher levels of abstractions there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't find this fucking cat. What the heck? Click the hint.
Sounds good.
The whole time it was right here with the barrels.
Obviously. Yep. The barrel full of monkey cats.
Yeah.
What was the pun that it gave you? A roaring good time or something?
Yeah.
Because monkeys roar?
It doesn't, like, so many of the things don't make sense. Harmony
good,
is just not very good at this. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe the task I gave is too difficult. Because I could not come up with, like, a history fact every day that's related to the game that we're playing.
Yeah, it's doing its best.
But I was hoping, or I was supposing that the reason I can't do that is because I'm bad at history. I don't know anything that happened in history. So it's very hard for me to reach into history and find, and relate thing.
Turns out the actual problem is the puns.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a pun. It just I just related to something interesting that happened on this day in history, like right. So like anything having to do with dragons or cats or anything, like maybe there was a book published, like a fictional book about dragons published on this day, right?
Sure.
Like to
Anything.
me, I felt like that's something an AI would be good at, right? Like we're searching through its database of
No, it's really
events.
trying to come up with good puns.
Well, then don't do the pun, right? Like don't go for
Yeah.
the thing that you're bad
It
at.
doesn't. Yeah.
Which is part of the Dunning-Kruger
I-
stuff, I guess.
I think I told you I was using ChatGPT today to help me practice my Spanish.
Yep.
And I struggle with, how I have left-right confusion.
Yeah.
So I have trouble learning other languages because of similar pairs of words like that. So in Spanish, I'm having a lot of trouble with esos versus estos and esta versus esta. One means this, one means that, one means those, one means these. And I have a lot of trouble with the ones that have the T in it. Which one, does that mean this or that? And the ones without the T, does that mean this or that? And so I asked ChatGPT to help me come up with a mnemonic. There is a mnemonic of something like, for this and these, add the T's or something like that. Anyway, so I'm trying to tell the difference between like ESO and ESTO, right?
Okay.
Which one is which? And the mnemonic it gave me is that SO has this in it, which starts, or it has an S in it. And you can think for S, you can think so close. And the other one has an S in it, but it's further away in the word or something. So you can think not so close.
Okay.
It's like, what? Like, it was the worst. Like, it's like this, like, it would have been hard to make this worse for me, and you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. That is not a good mnemonic. I'm gonna share it with you to find it. So
Okay.
that you can see it.
Hey, Sponge Boy, how's it going? Welcome in. I sometimes I was gonna say I like doing this, but I don't think it's true that I like doing it because I do it pretty rarely. I think sometimes a thing that I will do is I will intentionally come up with a mnemonic that's wrong, that teaches you exactly the wrong thing, so that you're stuck remembering the wrong thing forever.
Why would you do that to me?
Because it's a funny troll thing, right? Like I won't do it for something important, like left right, but I will do it here. Let me show you. You remember this game, right? Hollow Knight?
Yeah.
So there's this creature called the Mistake, which I don't know if there's a better picture of it in here. See, they look like this.
Okay.
These guys are mistakes and they're crawling around the floor.
Okay.
And these guys are called follies. They're like this, right?
They're hovering. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, and people are always like, oh, I can never remember which one's the mistake and which one's the folly, right?
Okay.
I'm like, oh, it's easy. Folly starts with F, right? So think floor for folly. And then mistakes are for M, so think of mid-air for mistakes.
You are the worst.
And part of the reason I do is because I feel like there's such an obvious mnemonic, right? Which is F for flying, right? I don't know if what you can do for M for the ground,
Right.
but F for flying is like the most. But like, yeah. But so specifically to like be contrarian against that, I was like, F for floor, which is the flying ones, and M for midair, which is the ground ones.
Okay, seriously, you have to read this mnemonic out loud and tell me if
You sent it
this
to me on
works for
Discord?
you. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Esta equals this, close to me. Essa, that, close to you. Mnemonic. This is with me. Este is Sessa, close. Both este and sasa have s. S means close. That is not with me. Ese is lejo, farther. Ese has s. Wait, it also has an s. But it's less close. Just remember.
It's less close, dude.
S.
Just remember.
It has an S in it,
S.
which means it's close. And then the other word also has an S in it, but it's less close. What? I didn't understand it when you said it out loud, but now that I'm reading it, I understand.
Worst example of a mnemonic that anything has ever come up with. I'm like, this is. Circa doesn't have an S in it. And also, S doesn't mean close. Why would it mean close?
But like to me, that's like not the word. Like S being close is like that's weird. But you can come up with something.
Right,
if you need that, you can come up with something like S for small, right? Small things are close versus big and far. But like the worst part is like they both have S. They both have S in them. So how do you remember which is which?
Well, it's less close, obviously. How it's less close is unclear, but. God, I was like, how did you. Oh, it's such a great example of ChatGPT.
Yeah. Did you see the one? I think it might have been the Eaton, the AI guy. I forgot his last name. Mulrick or something like that.
Mullick, yeah.
Mullick, who the pie riddle. Did you read that one? That article?
I don't think so. No.
It was something like you. It was the user gave a very very difficult request, which is right. Give me a riddle where the answer is, and then he gives a value, but it's not pi. It's close to pi, but it's not pi. It's like give me an answer, a riddle where the answer is 3.1416 or something like that, right? Like,
okay.
So like even as a human, like how do you come up with a riddle? Because it's not pi. The answer isn't pi. The answer is 3.1416. Like it's this other number, like, and he said like the user benchmarks, because there's like these websites where they anonymously give you two different AI responses and you vote which one you like better, and then lots of AI companies will use that for bragging rights, right? They say we just released a new model and it's like 98%, like users prefer 98% more than ChatGPT or whatever. So it's a big deal, right? Like and so what Eaton was reporting on is how the companies are sort of gamifying that, or gaming, like, because they're not gamifying, what the word, like they're giving worse answers but that get higher scores, and this is bad, right? Like
it's a Goodhart's law situation.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't know Goodhart's law like last year. Now you know it. Gosh darn it.
Not my fault. You're teaching me things.
Yeah. It's this teasing pride I have in you now.
Yeah, gotcha. Nice.
And so because the thing is, like, they were saying the model from Facebook, Llama, I think it's called, gave like this like super ridiculous answer, but they put like lots of smileys and emojis and like and so people voted for it. But the riddle it gave, there's no way from reading the riddle you would get the answer, right? Because it's something like it's something like I forget what it is, because they made it rhyme, but it's like it's pi, but it's close. But like there's lots of numbers close to pi, right? Like how do you know which number that's close to pi is the answer? Whereas like Claude gave like an actual thing where you could, in principle, figure out that it's the exact number 2.1, but it's like it's not fun, it's because like the riddle, like the premise is not fun, right? Like how do you like a riddle that where the answer is 3.1416 or whatever, like that's not a fun riddle no matter what you come up with.
No.
So but it did the request, like like the user asked for this, so it's fulfilled the request, but it got low votes, right? Because the answer was like boring and like the true answer is boring.
Right.
Llama is bullshitting you, and he got the upvotes for that, right? And then yeah.
Ethan Mullick is also where I got the no elephants from.
Yeah, that's also where I saw the no elephants thing, which is why I said like I may have seen the same article or similar article, but I guess I didn't look at the picture that closely because I don't remember the door being too narrow thing. Oh, there's a boss fight we were missing here.
Good job beating that boss.
So it's like
That
an
was a tough
abandoned
one.
house at the bottom left of this barren field, I guess.
Okay.
Is this here? Yeah, it must be this right here. You say whoopee! Diamond Rose.
Yep.
Why do all these rabbits look like cats? Look at this rabbit. This rabbit especially looks like a cat.
Yeah.
Because of his stance, his pose.
The click.
What is this exclamation mark? I just
Distractor.
noticed the whole time there was this thing and I... Oh, it's the instructions. I don't know. How much... Let me, I guess, swap tabs to see my clock here. I wanted to see how much time we have left in stream. We have like 2 minutes to find the last 10 cats and the headdress.
Find all the cats.
Also the
Find,
headdress.
Is there... No. Okay. I'm finding them. I'm gonna find them.
Oh, do you want to do a logic puzzle? Do you like those?
Sometimes.
Let's do a logic puzzle after this.
Okay.
So most logic puzzles I find are pretty lame, but this one I felt it's pretty well done, and to the point where I wonder if it's human written as opposed to AI generated. Because the reason I say this is because it's a daily, meaning every day he has to write a new puzzle, right? Like,
Oh, wow.
like unlike like Wordle type thing where you every day. I think with Wordle you just gotta find a dictionary of 5-letter words, right? And then like so then a computer can then generate these puzzles basically at that point.
Right.
But the thing with this puzzle, the premise of the puzzle is you have to categorize a grid of 5 by 5 people, so 25 people in total. You have to categorize them as either criminals or innocents. And
Okay.
the engine keeps
Oh,
track.
there's the header.
The engine keeps track of whether it's possible for you to have made the deduction that you just made,
There's
given
a
the
cat.
clues available to you at this
Yeah.
point in time.
Nice.
So meaning like, let's say you
But
click
you
on a
can't
guy
get- Yeah.
and you say like, I think he's innocent. They'll say like wrong. Wrong not meaning he's not innocent, but meaning you can't determine that he's innocent from the clues you have right now. And then you're like, but like if the first time you play, you click, you say he's innocent. He says wrong. He's like, oh, then he's a criminal. Then I'll say wrong again, because you,
Wow.
because he's one of them, but you don't, but you can't actually figure out which, so it doesn't let you guess, right? Like,
Okay.
and he's structured like it's structured in such a way so that like you really have to use every piece of information it gives you. Like, and it feels like there's little redundancy. And so like I was impressed by the puzzle design. Like it's challenging. Like whereas a lot of like if I go on Reddit, you know, right, and I see like these random puzzles, it's like I feel like they're AI generated in the sense of like there's no elegance to the puzzle. It's, you know, you can do from in multiple angles or in multiple orders, and then you just end up
Yeah. I like an elegant puzzle.
like they just added rules until, you know, there was a unique solution, and then now we're done. But here it's like there's a path that he wanted to guide you through, because you know you can only figure out this guy if you knew this guy, and then once you figure that guy, now you can figure out this guy, and so on, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, how do you do that AI generated? I can't figure out how. So does that mean it's manual? But if it's manual, that's so much work doing that every day, you know, like.
Maybe he's got a system for writing them.
Yeah, I think so. I think he must have developed like It's called DSL, domain specific
Third one.
language.
In front of that green building.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Sometimes when you're as a programmer, like sometimes it's one of those things you have in your tool belt, but it's rarely used as a tool. Domain specific language, which is basically you're inventing a new programming language just to make solving this one task easier.
Gotcha.
So it is like you create some sort of language where you can express these predicates, right, and evaluate mechanically whether or not they're true or false, and what deductions they lead to, and then you maybe create a graph out of it. Not like pie chart graph. I mean graph in the mathematical sense of nodes and vertices.
You meant like a Feynman diagram.
Yeah, basically. Where you can plot a graph to see like is there a path from this starting point to the ending, where the ending is, every character has been categorized.
Yeah.
And then you have the computer verify that, right? To see like is there a path, and is there ideally a unique path? Like you have to do it in this order. Like the clues are written in such a way so that the only way you can make progress is by using every clue once. Type of thing.
I feel like I should have gotten more credit for that joke.
Sorry. All right, let's give up on this and let's do the logic game. It's called Clues by Sam, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. 5x5 grid. So like A, B, C, D, and so on, right, are their names. So this person, Olivia, is one of 3 innocents in row 4. So that means Olivia's innocent.
Right.
And there's 3 other innocents. 1, 2, 3. So that means 2 guilties, 2 criminals. Megan.
Wait, you said row 4. Isn't that column 4?
Oh, you're right.
Or were you doing a column? Okay.
Right. Olivia is one of row 4. Yeah, sorry, you were right. So 3 innocents and 1 guilty person in this row.
Gotcha.
Megan and Xena have only 1 criminal neighbor in common. So Megan's here. Xena is here. One of these 2 is criminal, right? These are the 2, Pam and Ryan, are the neighbors in common.
Which means Noah has to be an innocent.
Right. Pam is one of Larry's 5 innocent neighbors. So that means Pam is innocent. Where's Pam? Here it is. Which means Ryan is guilty.
Ryan.
Yeah.
And Pam is one of Larry's 5 innocent neighbors, so Larry has a
Where's
lot
Larry?
of innocent neighbors.
Here it is. Yeah, he has 8 neighbors, so that's me. 3 of them are going to be guilty, but we don't know which yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm going to click on this to dim it, which means we don't need this clue anymore.
Okay.
I guess we don't need this one also, right? We looked at every name. Gabe and Larry have 2 innocent neighbors in common. Gabe is here, Larry's here. So they have 4 neighbors in common, right? Flora, Katie, Hilda, and Megan.
Right.
Pam. Larry has 5 innocent. So 2, okay, Gabe and Larry have 2 innocent in common. So 2 of them are going to be guilty. And that means those 2 that's everyone of Larry's guilty, right? Because Larry has 3 guilty in all. So that means Gabe is innocent, right?
I thought Larry has 5.
Larry has 5 innocents.
Oh, 5 innocent.
Which means he has 3 guilty.
Yes, gotcha.
Pam,
so Gabe is innocent.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I just read it backwards. Sorry.
Chad's only criminal neighbor is to the right of Austin. Chad's criminal neighbor, where's Austin? Austin. Okay, to the right of Austin, they mean on the same row. So it's Brian or Diane, basically. Chad's only
either
one of these. Yeah,
right.
one of these is, which means all his other neighbors, which means Flora and Hilda are innocent.
Right. Which helps us understand what that Katie and Megan are both guilty.
Yes. There are exactly 2 criminals in column C. This is column C. I guess we can't do anything with that yet. Chad's only criminal neighbor. Okay, we still don't know that one yet. Brian is one of Gabe's 4 criminal neighbors. So Brian is criminal. Here, Chad's only criminal, so Diane is innocent, right?
Right.
Brian is one of Gabe's 4 criminals. Gabe has 4 criminals.
1, 2, 3. So it could be Chad or Larry, right?
I think so. I'm trying to think is there anything that means it could not be Chad, but I guess not. Smarty. Pam is one of Larry's 5. Okay, so yes, so this is done, I guess. We have all his neighbors. Gabe and Larry have 2 innocent neighbors in common. Gabe, Larry have 2. Yeah, we got that.
Oh, so Larry can't. Oh, wait, it doesn't say that. Sorry.
There are exactly 2 criminals in column C. Chad's only criminal neighbor. Huh, now I'm stuck. Wait, what are we missing? See, this is why I'm impressed, right? Because I'm actually stuck. Like most of these times, these puzzles, it's like easy babies, right?
If so, that one that says Gabe and Larry have 2 innocent neighbors in common.
This one, Pam's clue.
Okay.
Gabe and Larry have 2 innocent neighbors in common. Yeah, which are Flora and Hilda.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Because there are exactly 2 criminals in column C,
Yeah.
it can't be both Chad and Larry because Gabe
Oh wait,
has only 4 criminal neighbors.
where does it say?
Because Brian is
Oh,
Gabe,
oh, you're right. Okay, so this
so
is one of the.
Lavina
Yeah.
has to be criminal.
There are more criminals in column B than C, and there's exactly 2 in C, right? So it has to be. So
Right.
Walter has to be a criminal. Then.
Walter has to be criminal.
There are a total of 6 innocents in columns C and D. So there's one of these, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this guy has to be innocent then. Right? Larry is one of Flora's 4 criminal neighbors. Larry. So he's
So Larry
criminal,
is guilty.
which means this guy's innocent.
Is innocent.
And you could trust you. Larry's one of 4 of Flora's 4 criminal. So there's one of these is a criminal because Flora needs 1 more criminal neighbor. There's actually 2 criminals in column C, which is done. Chad's only criminal neighbor. Yeah, that's done. Brian is one of Gabe's 4 criminal. That's done. There are a total of 6 in A and D. Innocents. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 innocents. Okay, so one of these. So that's the third one. So this guy's Sophia's criminal.
Yeah.
Brian and Ethan have only 1 criminal neighbor in common. So Brian's here. Where's Ethan? Is here. So these guys have 1 criminal in common, which has to be Austin. I guess.
Right.
Which means then Ethan is innocent, right?
We did it.
Yeah.
Hey, that is pretty good.
Yeah.
And you can do that every day?
Yeah. So next puzzle in 23 hours ish.
Nice.
I'll send you the link if you want.
Thank you.
Just don't do them on Thursdays because obviously we're going to do them together on Thursday.
Okay. Fair.
So yeah. I guess that's it. Should we end stream here?
Do you do Bracket City yet?
I have not. Should we do it? I've never done Bracket City. I've only watched people do it, but I've never actually done it myself.
We watch people do it. Interesting. Okay.
There's a guy who's a. Is there a better? Wait, there's gotta be a better site because I watched a guy do it and his site doesn't look like that. Is it this one? This doesn't look like it. Oh, it is it, based on the
I
description.
It used to be on another site, and then the Atlantic bought it. I don't think it's on the other site anymore. I think it's just on this one.
All right, then it has to be this. Because it used to be like, why is it in this window? Like, I want full screen, right? Like, look at all this
Yeah,
empty
I know.
space I got. Like, what is this garbage?
Yeah.
Newly staple for Koshi ramen, right?
Yep.
Water fight weapon vastly more powerful than a squirt gun or balloon. I don't know what that
Like-
is.
Cannon, maybe?
Firefighting technique. Oh, hose. Right.
Hose? Okay.
Something brigade. Firefighting technique mostly on
Oh,
mobile
like
hose.
A bucket
Bucket
brigade.
brigade?
It
Yeah.
showed a bucket.
Also,
yeah.
it looks like there's a character that's not rendering here for me. See, there's a
Oh,
emoji or something.
it looks like a
that's- But anyway. Word after grocery, gas, or like list. Grocery list,
List,
gas list,
yeah.
bucket list. List featuring a lot of Chateau wine lists. Every little bit counts, maybe.
I like that.
Loop something like Sacramento wine during Prohibition. What?
A
Loophole?
loophole? Yeah.
Breakfast treat that requires an iron to prepare. Waffle?
A waffle.
It's a something you guess as the falling weather vane points directly towards the waffle. What? The Waffle House? I have no idea what this is a reference to. Is this like a movie quote or something like that?
I think it's maybe about how you can go to Waffle Houses during tornadoes or something like that, but I'm not sure because I don't live in the South, so we might have to
Come back to it.
solve other bits of it. Yeah.
So Joyce says, "Is this still Hidden Cat Outlaws? It seems a bit too paper wonky." You know, yeah, it's not. It's called Bracket City. We're ending stream soon. We're just doing a few puzzles before we end. Ice cream truck, I guess.
Yep.
Edward, who paints. I don't know the name of the artist. You know the name of the guy who.
Munch.
Sorry, Munch.
Yeah.
Brick color for Munchkin Labor in Oz. Gold, I guess. Gold. No, yellow,
Yellow?
right? Yellow brick road.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's a big there's an interpretation of Oz as like economic
Dollar
commentary?
standard? Yeah.
Yeah, I did not
Yeah.
know that. I was
I
like,
love
what? When I read,
I love it. I know.
like the lion represents the cowardly politicians, and
Yeah.
and the
Right.
scarecrow with no brains represents something. And I was like, I read this, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this.
I thought it was so cool.
And they say, well, and Oz is the ounce, right? The measurement of gold when you
Yeah.
The yellow one will make you cry the most because I guess onion. I didn't know that the yellow one is the worst, but I don't know what else. I mean, things that make you cry when you cut it is like onion is the first thing, but like your finger is another.
Sure.
An onion one is fried and about the size of a bangle, like an onion ring.
Yeah.
Rings that grow as they float through the air. Smoke rings. Is it just me, or does this seem like really easy? Like I felt like did they used to be harder? These bracket cities.
Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. Right.
From a smoke something home, I guess free, says the ad for use lazy boy you and I. No such thing as a free lunch. Okay, so now we gotta do this thing. So the other trick is you look at the context, right? Street something that often features figures holding lunch boxes. Street what? That often features figures. Street signs? Oh, it's a sign, you guess, as the fallen weather vane points directly to Waffle House.
Oh, okay. Sure. Sign.
School
Okay.
something. Street sign that often features figures holding lunchbox. School crossing?
Sign. Zone. It's zone. I think because
school
ozone.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well,
We did it.
yeah,
Good job. We are good jobs.
we are good
Yay.
jobs. Let me show another one. Hang on, since we're doing these like dailies. Where is it?
Sure.
I have it written down somewhere. You remember like a long time ago I made you do a crossword and then we rated another guy an Asian guy who because he was doing crosswords. And then
Kind of, yeah.
I told you like you were like, oh, that puzzle was so hard, it's impossible. And then I said, well, he solved it.
Yeah.
So
You had the
he's
puzzle you made?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's the guy who I watch do Bracket City. Like all he does is, is he just does dailies. He does a crossword, he does Wordle,
okay.
he does Bracket City, he does. So
Ah.
um
I didn't know I could stream myself doing those things.
yeah, and then put up a donation link, and then rake in the big bucks.
Ah.
Man, I can't find it. I guess I didn't save it because usually what I do is I send myself a Discord message of a link to remind myself to send it to him because I showed him like the clues by Sam. I'd like, hey, you might like this, right? And then he started doing clues by Sam. And there was another one that I found, and I sent it to him. It was like a history thing. It gives you a bunch of events in history, and you have to sort them in order, put them in chronological order.
Oh yeah.
So I sent him that.
I think you sent that to me once too, and I was like, this is way too hard. Yeah.
But I can't find it now in my Discord history, so I don't know where. So I'm not able to find it again, unfortunately. Okay, so shall we just end here then?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Steph, thank you. See you later.
Alrighty, bye.
Then we'll do the ending screen here. Interact. Play. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We played a couple games. I think we played 2 Steam games and then like a bunch of those dailies. We played There's No Dragon and then Hidden Cat Outlaws, both hidden object games. A lot of fun with my co-host Steph. Regular schedule, top left corner screen every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. That's about 2 hours, 43 minutes ago in your time zone. We got the Steph's Thursday stream where we play puzzle games, hidden object games, such as stuff with my co-host Stephanie. Every Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's about 4 hours. A little over 4 hours ago in your time zone. We have the solo Saturday stream where I play random games from my review queue. Let's see. So today's Friday. So tomorrow, Friday, we're playing Silver Pine Creek with Astro Rose, and then Saturday we're playing Creature Kind. So look forward to that. And I'll be posting after that stream the updated schedule for next week. Yeah, I think that's it. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the Cat Parade while I look for something to read.